Welcome into Drew's Daily Diamond for Friday, June 7th, 2024. I am Drew Martin breaking down the slate of games. Let me know in the comments below what your MLB picks are for the Friday slate, where you agree, where you disagree, all is welcome. Where you're watching from, it was cool to see on yesterday's video, guys. People from New York, West Coast of Florida, always fun to see that action coming in from all over the world. If you're liking the content, please smash that like button as we're getting into the games here. Full Friday slate, guys, with a monster matchup starting us off, 7:05 Eastern, possible World Series preview. LA Dodgers, New York Yankees, Cody Petit going for the Yanks, Yamamoto going for the Dodgers. Talking Friday night, no line out yet, but we'll dig into this one as the Dodgers come in with Yamamoto on the hill, 3.3 ERA, sub 2.7 FIPS, 76 strikeouts in 65 innings. He stands 6-2 on the series. The Dodgers playing against Pittsburgh in PNC. They did lose 2 of the first 3 going into that series, then heading out to New York. We talked about it earlier on this week's Drew's Daily Diamond in terms of the quirky travel spot for the Dodgers team. They were in New York playing the Mets, then went back out to LA to play 3 games against Colorado, then back east to play against Pittsburgh, and we saw it. They lost the first 2 games of that series in terms of not a lot of travel time. Usually MLB, when you cross the country, they give you at least 2 series, on one side of the United States. Well, not for the Dodgers in this case, and now they're going to move on here to the Yankees. We'll see if it still affects them in Yankee Stadium. They're up against Petit here, the fourth round pick out of UCLA by the Miami Marlins, came over in the trade. And then, we've seen Poteet have 2 starts, 10-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He did have an impressive start against the Cleveland Guardians, a good lineup there. He went 6 innings, just 1 earned run. Now the Yankees come in, number 1 record in MLB, 44-19, plus 16 units on the season. Also 20-8 at home. They're the number 1 lineup in baseball. Now the Dodgers, number 2 lineup in baseball by weighted runs created plus for the full season. Yankees have smashed righties, number 1 against righties. Hey, Dodgers, number 3 against righties. Dodgers with a good pin. Yankees top 10 bullpen as well. This is a great matchup to start us off, guys. But I really think it comes down to like the pricing standpoint by the odds makers. Yankees come in 16 units to the positive. Dodgers -2. Dodgers been a little bit overpriced throughout the year, and I think the Yankees playing at home here. I know they don't have as big of a name pitcher on the hill, but I like this Yankees lineup. I think it's Bronx Bombers, and I think we'll get a good price when it is released here. So I got the Yankees circled to be on to start us off on Friday. Moving down the list here to the Queen City, we get the Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds for our next matchup, 7:10 Eastern start here. Nick Lodolo going for the Reds. Justin Steele going for the Cubs. So battle of southpaws in this one. Total of 9, -112. That's Cincinnati heading into the overnight market here. They're 4 games under 500. Chicago is right at 500, but they're 5 games under 500 on the road. They're also just 7-12 in division. For whatever reason, they've struggled against the NL Central. This is the second game of the series. And for these 2 pitchers, it's back-to-back against the same lineup. Steele went up against the Reds. They scored 5 runs in his 5 innings of work. That was his last time out against Cincinnati. He also had 4 walks, a little bit alarming there. And Lodolo, if you've been watching the show, we've been on this kid a bunch. He's been profitable. Back-to-back starts against Chicago, and in the first one, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He has a 3-flat overall ERA and whip, the 6'6", 205-pounder first-round pick out of TCU. He's a young gun coming from the left side. I like this Cincinnati team. Their lineup's hot. I know they just played in Colorado, but still, they're seeing the ball well, and they have a bullpen edge to boot. So we get -112. We'll lay the 12 cents here with the home team. We're on the Reds in the Queen City. Heading to South Florida up next for the Cleveland Guardians and the Miami Marlins. Ryan Weathers and Logan Allen, the starting pitching matchup here. So 2 southpaws going at it. -110. That's the Guardians as the short road favorite. Total of 8 in Lone Depot Park. Cleveland, they just lost 4-3 against Kansas City on Thursday, but they're still 40-21 on the season. Put that up against the Marlins record, 21-41. It's been a rough season down there in South Florida, so it's pretty much opposite records for both of these two teams. Allen, in his last start, he did give up a bunch of runs, but it was in Colorado. I think he's going to have a lot better start here. It's down at sea level, more of a pitcher's park. And before that start in Colorado, 3 straight starts where he was really good. They won all 3 of the starts. So he's been rocked a couple times, but I don't think up against this Fish lineup, there's too much to worry about. Now, Weathers, the lefty going for the Marlins, his numbers are actually pretty good. You could make the argument he's the best Marlins pitcher. Last time out, he did give up 9 hits against the Rangers, but he had 11 strikeouts as well. So it's like hit or strike out. He's given up a bunch of them, but he's also striking out a lot of guys. They've lost 4 straight at home. They're 0-7 in Weathers starts. So no, actually against Texas, they lost 7-0 in the last Weathers start. So not a good start last time out for Weathers. They're not 0-7 his last 7 starts. I misread that. But still, I mean, he's got decent numbers, but he's going up against a good Cleveland lineup. And this is a lineup that doesn't strike out very much. I actually think he's going to struggle a little bit. And let's be real, this Fish lineup, one of the worst in MLB. They are the worst against lefties. They're the only team in Major League Baseball with under a 600 team OPS against southpaws. So I don't think they're going to be able to do much offensively. And Cleveland, the number 1 bullpen in baseball, I think that this number's short. This is coming from a Miami Marlins fan. I like Cleveland -110. We'll move down the list here. Heading to the Windy City on the south side. It is the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. Battle for the Sox here as Cooper Criswell going for the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet, the lefty, going for the White Sox. White Sox actually going off as the favorite, guys, and mainly due to their starting pitcher, Crochet. If you're going to look to bet on the White Sox and make an argument for him, you really want him on the hill. However, coming into Thursday night action, they've lost 13 straight games. I'm not going to be betting on the White Sox. I mean, particularly laying a price tag with them. Criswell going for Boston, 13th rounder out of UNC. He's got a sub-4 ERA. His last time out, just 1 earned in 5 innings pitched. And Crochet, making the argument for him, he's really good. If you watch him, he's a tall, hard-throwing lefty, but he's never pitched past the 6th inning, and he's only averaging 5 innings. So they're still going to have to cover a bunch of outs in the later innings if it is a close game. I actually think Boston at the plus price right now, you can get them as high as +104. I think it's wrong team favored. And lastly here, guys, on the White Sox, 15-47 going into Thursday night action. This is one of the worst records really of our lifetime. Anybody watching it, they might be on pace to kind of break the MLB least amount of win streak. And their offense is just awful. OPS, by far the worst. They're 70 points below the next MLB lineup by on base plus slugging percentage. Bullpen is not pitching well at either. They're the worst lineup against righties, obviously. It's the Boston Red Sox at the plus price, guys. I doubt that number lasts very long. A few games left here. We'll head to Texas up next. 8:05 Eastern start. San Francisco Giants, Texas Rangers. Lorenzen going for Texas. We get Logan Webb, the righty, going for the Giants. Near pick'em price tag, I am seeing the Giants -110 at a bunch of spots. Both of these two teams off of a rest day yesterday. San Francisco, they are on a 13-5 overrun. So if you're looking to bet this total for San Francisco's side, maybe look to bet it over, but it kind of correlates, or I guess not correlates, with the Texas run. They've been an under trender, 24-37 towards the under. So that's what kept me off of this total. Lorenzen going for the Rangers, decent numbers, but Texas has lost 7 of his last 8 starts. I don't know if I can get there with the Texas team. I know they're the defending World Series champions, but I like Webb on the hill. Sub-3 ERA, solid numbers overall. This Giants lineup is hitting the ball better, and they got a bullpen edge. 10 cents on the Giants. That's the way I would go after this one in Arlington. San Francisco Giants -110. Next one up, we'll head to the later slate on the West Coast here, guys. We got the Houston Astros and the LA Angels. Griffin Canning going for the Halos. Framber Valdez going for the Astros. Both of these two teams off of a rest day on Thursday. We are seeing the Astros minus 190 road favorites, 8 or 8 and a hook being the total, depending where you're shopping. The Angels coming in off of 3 straight wins over the Padres, staying at home here. Their record overall still 14 games under 500, but playing better baseball. And Canning on the hill, the second rounder out of UCLA, the former Bruin, 4.7 ERA, not great. But recently he's pitched a lot better. If you've watched him, he's changing speeds well, fastball, changeup, keeping lineups off balance. Up against Valdez here. Last time Framber Valdez faced the Angels, love past performance, especially when it's recently. This was just on May 20th. One of his worst starts of the season. Actually, I think it is his worst. 5 innings, 10 hits. Whip was way high. He gave up 8 earned runs in that matchup. So I actually think the Halos at home can put up a couple numbers here. They've hit the ball a little bit better. Bullpen, not bad, top half of MLB, and getting near plus 160, plus 158. I mean, this Houston Astros team, if you put another logo on their chest, on their uniform, they haven't had a great season really at all. So I think this number would be a lot different if it wasn't the Astros. Plus 158 here on the Halos. We'll jump on the big home dog in Southern California. Next one up. Last game on the card, 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 local time, Toronto Blue Jays at the Oakland Athletics. Harris going for the A's, Chris Bassett going for the Blue Jays. Jays minus 130 road favorites, total of 8. Toronto comes in off of winning yesterday 6-5 off of Baltimore. They're 30-32 on the season, 7-3 their last 10, so they're playing a little bit better baseball. They've won 3 straight Bassett starts, the 16th rounder out of Akron. The former Zip is 6-6 on the season, 4 flat ERA and FIP. So no more of his last 6 starts. He gave up 3 earned runs. So in his last 6 starts, he hasn't been rocked at all. 6 quality starts in a row. Last year against the Athletics, 8 innings, 1 earned run, 7-0 strikeout to walk ratio. So he's had success against the same lineup. And Harris going for the A's. First start of the year, he's made a couple appearances out of the bullpen. 3 ERA, 4 FIP in the 3 appearances. And in his 1 start, only 1 earned run given up to the Rays last time out, the 3rd rounder out of ULL, the Ragin' Cajun. I think he can have a good start here up against the Jays lineup that, travel, you're going from Toronto to Oakland, no day off for rest. That's a little bit of a tough travel spot. I think sometimes travel gets overblown, but hey, it's a little bit of a trip here. I think the offense might struggle. Pitchers Park at night, that marine layer coming in, total of 8. I don't think we get there, guys. I think it finishes 4-1, 3-2, something of that nature. Let's go Toronto Blue Jays, Oakland Athletics, under 8. So in recap, we'll end with that one. We got the Angels plus 160. We are on the Jays, Athletics under 8. Giants minus 110. Battle of the Sox. We are on the Red Sox plus 104. Cleveland minus 109 over Miami. We get the Reds minus 112 at home over the Cubs. And in that Dodgers-Yankees game, still waiting out for a number here, Friday night action. But I'm going to be looking to be on the Yankees in that one, guys. I actually think we'll get a pretty good price tag on it as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. That does it for the Friday show. Enjoy your weekend. Have a fun, safe weekend. Smash that like button, comment below, cash those tickets.